We continue learning Rabeinu Yona's Sharei Teshuva, and we're in the middle of discussing mitzvah sloisa say averais. We're up to page 377, and we just finished discussing about the shaksu. Continues Rabeinu Yona, al tachalas bidchalas noisa. Do not desecrate your daughter to make her into a zaina. V'losizne haaretz umala haaretz zima. Don't make the land unfaithful, and the land will become filled with zima, with disgustingness, with depravity. This pasuk is coming to warn as follows, says Rabeinu Yona. One should not give over his single daughter to someone for bia, to have relations not in the context of Kiddushin. To this Daraisa, V'losizna haaretz. Do not make the land into znos, into unfaithfulness. Because if you do this, the land will not grow the appropriate crops. Pasuk in Yirmiyah, the raindrops were withheld, the late rain did not happen, and this came about due to the fact that people were being mizaneh. And this, of course, calls to question, says Rabeinu Yona, the concept of a pelegesh, a concept in the Zmanei Chazal, the Zmanei Nach, in which there was a concept in that which one could give themselves over to a form of tashmish without marriage. Says Rabeinu Yona, V'lotu pelagshim b'lo yiksu b'lo yikdushin el lemelech. The whole concept of a pelegesh, having a woman in a type of marriage without a real kiddushin, without a real ksuba, and rather more for just the intimate aspects, is only allowed for a melech, a king. Why? Because everyone's afraid of him, and therefore other men would never be together with a woman that the king was with. Being together a melech with a woman, even without a ksuba, even without kiddushin, is a form of ishos, because no one would take advantage of this woman, and that is the reason why pelegish was mutter specifically for a king. And says Rabeinu Yona, and once they were matir, once they allowed a pelegish to a king, it was on this impetus that Chazal made extra gzeras to protect women. A kalu without a bracha that we wanted to be extra careful to make sure there's a chuppah, shava brachais, etc. Continues Rabeinu Yona on the bottom of page 378 in the Art School edition. We have just discussed the incredible punishment for one who designates a woman for znos, for mere relations, for just intimacy without proper marriage. Kinemer al-Zed says on this, it says regarding such a situation, the land is unfaithful and will be filled with zima, and this means that land itself will stop producing what it is supposed to, due to the way the people are acting in this zenos fashion. Says Rabeinu Yona, even one time, if a man is with a woman without a marriage, like a Malkus Mardis with divrei seifrim, he gets Malkus Mardis with divrei seifrim. Aside from the terrible stumbling block that happens when someone is together with another unmarried woman, what's the eventual stumbling block? That they'll eventually be together when she's a nida, which of course is the reason why Bisman Hazeh, this whole thing doesn't apply. Because Bisman Hazeh, every woman is a nida, because women do not go to the mikvah until they are married. This, that Rabeinu Yona here is discussing, these extra isurim, is a single girl, theoretically, Bisman Chazal, that went to the mikvah for kachim v'tayros, and therefore when this woman is together with a man, there's no Isser Daraisa, because she is not a nida. Still says Rabeinu Yona, number one, this Malkus, and number two, it's going to cause them to be together when she is a nida. The reason is because a woman's not going to want to go to the mikvah just for nidas. She doesn't be embarrassed. But if a rabbi calls a nusa, because maybe people are going to hear that why is she going to the mikvah? Because she's with this guy. She's being mizaneh. Al kein tia benidasa. She's going to stay anida tomasa b'shuleha. Her tumah is going to be on her clothing. Lo zachar achriyosa. And she won't care, and therefore the husband is going to end up being, not the husband, but this man is going to end up being together with her while she is an ida item. Rabbi Zain al-Chalas bitchal is naisa. Kumar and Sanhedrin, Ariza as harsh lo yasi adam is bitul zakein. Should I marry a young girl to an older man? Why? Because she's not going to be happy with that type of relationship. Continues Rabeinu Yona with another issue. Lo zachlu kol nevela. You cannot eat a nevela. Rabbi Zayin kol shenifsla b'shchita asa nevela. Anything which is possible shchita is called a nevela. L'machicham yina ma'id ba'am. Indeed, says Rabeinu Yona, it would be good for those to give teichacha, those to give musr, and to warn the people. V'yizharu b'teires hashchita. Be careful with shchita. U'b'dikdukeho lahashim chukeho. And to be careful to thoroughly fulfill its halachas. We see that the questions involving shchita, the difficulty, the nuances, were always a problem, were always challenging. V'yivcharu lahem, and you should choose b'chol kahal shoychet yarei chet, a shoychet who fears sin. Ki am Rabbi Yisrael Talim ala mitzvah shchita abdika. For many people are dependent upon him. He's shachti, he's making all the food kosher, so we have to make sure he is a yarei chet. It's true that say Chazal, most people who do and get involved in shchita are mumcha, are trustworthy and proficient. There are places that they don't pay attention and there is no musar, and therefore that there are those who are involved in shchita which are lacking in the appropriate knowledge and expertises. And says Rabeinu Yona, one has to be careful about that. Says Rabeinu Yona, I found in certain difficult, scandalous situations, even those who are proficient have distanced themselves from Yarei Chet, meaning when it says Rabeinu Yona, a deep detail, this person was a Talmud Chacham and he knows the halachas of Shechita, but for some reason, it says Rabeinu Yona, the more they get pulled into the world of Shechita, they desensitize themselves from the fear of sin. One who is not God-fearing, he's not going to be careful with the checking of the knife. It's not simple to check the knife. Be very careful. So you're going to see, you can check a knife 2-3 times and you won't feel a slight imperfection, and then you'll find it. Why? Because he is being medactic, he's Yarei Chet, he's putting his mind to look for that teeny littlest nick. But that's only going to be if the sheikh is a Yarei Shamayim. And finally, so aside for the fact that'll be negligent when he's baidik the simanim, the pipes of the animal, the shei simanim, to make sure it's kosher shchita. V'yesed drachim stadim, other issues in the shchita. Ki golas niglos l'nei kol yedi das v'din. Whoever know the halachas know, and therefore how critically important it is to be on top of the shchita and all of the kashrus.